Hello, everyone. It has been a while. I had high hopes for doing things a little more often, and life just got in the way. So here I am, and a lot's been happening. So we'll jump right in. But first, I have to say again, thank you for those of you who helped me get to over 1,000 subscribers. I really appreciate you. I'm excited about that. Um, and so if you haven't been here before, welcome. I just want to say that this is a place of beloved community where we place love at the center of everything. Um, so this is a place where we learn um, and where everybody belongs. So welcome. I'm Liz, the Black Knitter, on all the socials. And yeah, thanks for being here. I've got a lot of stuff to cover. I took the day off. It's the day after Memorial Day. I hope you had a nice holiday weekend. Um, and so let's jump in. The first thing I want to tell you so this is a little bit of Habari Gani, or the news, before we get into Elimu, which is education. So I did a giveaway for reaching 1,000 subscribers, and the person's name that I drew never reached out to me. So I still have that prize packaged up and ready to go. So I am going to draw another name from this podcast. So I have to figure out what I want people to do to enter that giveaway. So I'll tell you that at some point during the podcast. I have my notes over here on my computer, and my computer screen keeps closing. Say hi to Corbin. Hey, buddy. Say hi to the people. He likes to be held, but I have to put him down to see my notes because I didn't want. There's so much I didn't want to forget anything. So, all right. So I wanted to tell you about the giveaway because I didn't want to forget about that. But let's talk a little Elimu. There's a couple of things that I want to share. So my podcast, for those of you who are new, is divided into a few sections, and I use Swahili words to describe those sections. So I usually do Elimu first, which is Swahili for education. And because it is the end of May, I want to remind everyone that Juneteenth is coming on June 19th, so in just a few weeks here. And you might hear Corbin barking in the background. He is really interested in birds, and we have a pretty big pond behind our house. And the geese keep coming down to our yard, and he's really fascinated with those, especially because they have babies now. So, excuse the barking if you hear it in the background. Corb, Corb, stop barking. But Juneteenth is coming. I'm going to include a link to my Juneteenth episode where I talk about the importance of Juneteenth, what that history is, where you can find more resources. So definitely check that out. I'll put a link somewhere here, but also in the show notes below. But allies of Black people often ask me how to celebrate Juneteenth. And my number one piece of advice for celebrating Juneteenth, if you are not a Black person, is to support a Black business. So whether that's a yarn or yarn adjacent business, a fiber business, it can be any Black business. There are lots of them out there. There's actually a hashtag on Instagram that you can follow, support Black business, to find some Black business owners to support. So use that resource. I also try to indicate in my show notes whether or not a business is Black or Black owned or owned by a person of color. So you can also use that as a resource. There's also a Black History Make Along group on my Ravelry page, where I have asked people to tag Black and brown makers that are on Ravelry. So you can check that out as well. And in this podcast, I'll be talking about a number of Black makers. Support Black businesses. That is the best way to celebrate Juneteenth. The other way is to learn about the history of Juneteenth. So take some time to do that as well. Okay, another thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about is there have been some changes, some pretty big changes in the United Methodist Church. For those of you who are new, I am a member of the United Methodist Church. I'm a certified lay minister in my conference, which is the East Ohio Conference. And we had our general conference a couple of months ago, which is our international church conference, where we set all kinds of rules and resolutions for the next quadrennium or 4 years. And the General Conference voted to eliminate all of the language that prohibits LGBTQIA plus people from being ordained. It removes the language that prohibits clergy from performing same-sex weddings. So we are truly now open and affirming as a denomination. So that is really, really exciting. My particular church that I attend has been open and affirming for as long as I've been there. But now the denomination is no longer prohibiting same-sex relationships. It is no longer a prohibition for LGBTQIA plus people who want to serve as clergy. So it's just a really exciting time in the United Methodist Church. There is a new denomination of Methodism because there were some folks in the denomination who saw that this was coming and made the decision to leave the United Methodist denomination and form their own new Methodist denomination. It is called the Global Methodist Church. So, if you are a person who believes that God loves all people, the Global Methodist Church is probably not the place for you. So, just so you know. But again, I'm really excited about that. And I will, hopefully I'll remember. If I don't, let me know in the comments. But I will try to post an article about those changes a link to an article about those changes so you can read more about that. But really, really exciting. The other thing that I wanted to talk about are some changes to the Black History Month Make Along. I have hosted a Black History Month Make Along for the last 3 years to really draw attention to Black makers and designers and sellers, business owners. And Instagram makes it very difficult to do that make along the way that I have been doing it. And this last make along was really challenging for me because of just the way that Instagram has changed lots of things. So typically, the way that I identify prize winners for the make along is I have people use a hashtag, because it used to be on Instagram you could follow a hashtag. You can still follow a hashtag, which is great. But when you have a hashtag that you're following or that you use, Instagram used to show you all of the posts that included that hashtag. Now it only shows you top posts. So you can't see everything. You can only see those posts that get a lot of likes or comments on them. So that was really frustrating for me because it made it very difficult to identify people who were participating in the MAL. The other challenge with the Black History Make Along is that the month of February is short. So it really limits what people can make if they want to finish something by the end of February. So I really wanted to make the time that we have longer. So because of that, I'm going to make a couple of changes to the Black History Make Along that I think will be exciting. The first change really addresses the time issue. I am going to start the Black History Make Along in August, and it will go until the end of February. So it's going to start August 1st and go until February 28th. I'm doing that because August is Black Business Month. So it's a month to promote and support Black businesses. And last year I actually wrote an article for Interweave on Black-owned local yarn shops. And I'll try to remember to link that below if you want to take a look at that. But I thought that would be a great time of year to start the Make Along. So again, it's going to start August 1st. It'll go until February 28th. That time period also includes Kwanzaa, which is really cool. That is a cultural holiday that a lot of African American people celebrate here in the U.S. You know, there's a couple of Kwanzaa advents that you can buy. One of them is available for pre-order now by Chicken Coop Dye Works. I will link her below. And sorry for the sniffling. There's been some things blooming here the last couple of months that have really just challenged my allergies, which I haven't had trouble with for a while. So I am snuffy and sniffly and all the things. So pardon that. So Carol at Chicken Coop Dye Works already has a Kwanzaa Advent available for pre-order. And I'll let you all know when we're going to have when other Kwanzaa Advents might be available. The other change that I'm going to make is I'm going to move the conversation about the make along to Discord, because Discord makes it easier to track people who are participating. So I'm going to drop the web address for Discord below so you can find it. You can use it on your computer. There's also an app available if you want to use the app in addition to using the computer. It's not real hard to use, and actually what I'll do is before I upload this episode, I'm going to go ahead and get my server space set up so that you can find it pretty easily. So that's it. So we're going to be on Discord. And you can still post on Instagram using the hashtag because that just makes people aware of the make along. But I'll be asking people to join us on Discord for that. Those are the things that I wanted to tell you about as far as those educational items. All right. The other thing that I wanted to tell you about the make along is we'll try to do a Zoom once a month during the make along, just like a sip and stitch kind of thing. There's really no agenda other than to just be in community with one another. So be looking for that as well. Habari Gani, what's the news? Life has been lifing, y'all. A lot has been happening. I think my last episode was in February. And my mother had surgery in March. And that actually went pretty smoothly. She recovered much more quickly from that surgery, which was great. She was feeling pretty well. And then about 3 weeks ago, she ended up in the ER because she was just not feeling well. She was vomiting, had a lot of really severe abdominal pain. And they've been running tests ever since. She's got another test at the beginning of June, so next week, that we hope will give her the all clear. But they did find a spot on her pancreas that is of concern. They're hoping that it's just a cyst, but she's got to have one more test to kind of rule out anything that would be, worse than a cyst, and really to determine whether or not she needs to have it removed. So if you are a praying person, I appreciate your prayers, or send positive vibes, whatever it is that you do, that would be appreciated. My son graduated from college. That's exciting. So we didn't do anything other than take him out to dinner because that's all I wanted to do. But I did participate in a lot of commencements where I work. I had to go to 5 different ceremonies. So that was a very busy end to the semester. But it was fun. It's my favorite time of year is commencement time. And because we have so many graduates, we do commencement 3 different times: May, August, and December. And there's usually at least two ceremonies to accommodate all of the graduates. So lots and lots of fun. It's just in May we have a lot of them because so many students graduate in the spring. I've been to Chicago. I went to Chicago at the end of April. Took my dad to see my niece, who is now 11 months old. So that was a lot of fun. We drove and just had a really good time hanging out with the baby and my brother and sister-in-law. So that was fun. Had some good food. Had a chance to visit a museum, which was really cool. It was a Chicago museum, a museum all about Chicago history. Can't remember the name. I'll have to think about that. But it was really cool. And actually, that was also local yarn shop weekend. So my brother, fortunately, lives within walking distance to Nina Chicago. So I had a chance to go by Nina Chicago and check that space out. It's really cool. So if you're ever in Chicago, that's definitely a place to go. And the next time I get to Chicago, I gotta get over to Miss Pearl because I haven't made it there yet. So I'm gonna make that a priority the next time I am there. But that was fun, and I'll show you what I got there. I bought a couple of things. Well, actually, my other brother who came with us bought me some things at Nina Chicago. He wouldn't let me pay. He wouldn't let me pay for it, which was very nice of him. So thank you, brother. We have been working on plans to build a house. If you've built a house, you know that is a process. So that has been taking some time and effort, but we are moving along in that process. We made the decision that we're going to move my dad in with us. So it's pretty exciting. We've been talking about building a house for a long time and just decided it's time. We're ready. So we're going to do that. So fun, but a little stressful as building a house is. I don't know if you have heard about stuff that's happening at colleges all across the country right now. We are experiencing something that experts on this refer to as the demographic cliff. We have known for quite some time that the population of traditional aged college students at 18 to 22 year old group or demographic was decreasing. And as a result, there were going to be much fewer students going to college. So colleges across the country have been preparing for that eventuality. But what's happened in addition to that is, I don't know if you've noticed, but colleges and universities across the country have been under attack in lots of different ways. There are a lot of state legislatures that are making it unlawful for colleges and universities to have diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. They are trying to limit what faculty can teach in terms of the impact of race on experience, and have in general kind of raised skepticism about what happens on college campuses. And so there are just fewer students choosing to come to college. Um, and so it seems like every week for the last probably 6 months or so, I've seen in the news that another college somewhere is closing because they just don't have the enrollment to support the budget that they have. In Ohio, it's particularly challenging because there are so many colleges in Ohio. One of our governors back in the 60s and 70s really wanted there to be a college campus within 20 miles of every citizen in the state. And so there are a lot of colleges here, which, is a good thing. But it makes Ohio particularly challenging in terms of enrollment of students because there are just so many options. So we have seen a number of colleges close in Ohio or announce that they are having pretty serious budget concerns. And so we've been working with a number of colleges near us to help them teach out their students. So when a college closes, they have to develop a plan for making sure that students who are still enrolled can finish the programs that they started. So we've been working with a number of institutions near us to help them do that, while also trying to manage our own budget. So it has been a challenging time in Ohio for colleges and universities. So lots of stuff going on there at work, lots of discussions about how do we do things differently so we can still serve students, give students access to a college education. Yeah, it's been a challenge. But I work with really good people. I've got really creative young people working in my area, and we're gonna get through it. So, so that's been something that's happening. And I think that's pretty much it. The only other thing I've been working on is I asked for an extension on my craft yarn council instructor course because there's just been so much going on. I just haven't been able to finish all the assignments on time. So I've got an extension on that, and hopefully I'll get that done in time. I don't want to have to pay for it again. Um, so, um, so that's a lot. The other thing that I did recently, this past weekend, was the Great Lakes Fiber Show in Wooster, Ohio, which isn't very far from me. And so my husband and I went. That's how we spent our anniversary. Our anniversary was on Saturday, so we went to the Great Lakes Fiber Show and got some things. I'll show you what we got a little bit later. And then we went to this really fancy grocery store and bought a bunch of snacky stuff and brought it home and noshed all afternoon and had some drinks and watched a couple of movies. So it was the perfect way to spend our anniversary. So that was fun. So you were all caught up, I think, on what's happening with me. So let's get into some Kuumba creativity. I actually have a couple of finished objects to show you. Surprise, surprise, it's only been since February. I should have something finished. I made a hat for my sister, which has been gifted to her already. I believe, yes, I have shown it on the podcast, but she really liked it. So that has been gifted. I finished a couple of hats. That's kind of like my go-to quick project to do when I just want something to work on that I'll get done really fast to keep me motivated. So got those done, but I finished a couple of sweaters. So I've been really trying to work on cleaning up some whips. And I'm going to turn the camera just a little bit so you can see my cart sitting right here that has whips on it. And I frogged a couple of things because I was like, there's no way I'm going to finish these. So I took a couple of things out. But I've been working on slowly pulling things off of there to finish. So one of those things is the Anchor sweater by Petite Knits. And I have to look at my notes so I can tell you about all the yarn and stuff that I used. So I'm going to show it to you first. Short sleeve, this is the summer version. I really like it. So, this is a really nice pattern. Really good instructions, easy to follow. I would say it is a good beginner kind of sweater knitter pattern. Because this part is really just ribbing and then stockinette. So, and it's got really easy sleeve shaping. So if you're new to sweater knitting, this is a good option. So the yarn, this gray is actually a Jimmy the Model color, which is a Lola Bean yarn that Jimmy, Adela's husband, does. And this is actually a color that you can only get at 4U, which is in Oberlin, Ohio. Lisa is the owner there. This was a color that Jimmy dyed for her shop as a way to celebrate her opening. She is a black-owned yarn shop in Oberlin, and so I got a couple of skeins of that. One of the times that I visited, I was really excited to get it because, like I said, it was an exclusive colorway. And then this tealy kind of color, it's a Barocco vintage sock color. Which is kind of cool. And I tried to use every bit of that Jimmy the Model color. So I finished the edge of the sleeves with it because I really wanted to use it all up. But the Barocco color, let me look it up because I forget. It's Tide Pool, I believe, is the color. It's a real, this is pretty true to color the way it's showing up on the camera. So it's kind of a, it's a blue, but it has kind of a green undertone to it. So feels really nice too. So that's finished object number one. And then I talked about this sweater, I think in the last episode. I had just started the sleeves. So I was taking a class that showed you how to convert a pullover sweater pattern into a zip up cardigan using steeking. So if you don't know what steeking is, that is the process of knitting something and then cutting it. Most usually it is used to turn a pullover into a cardigan. A lot of people who do color work use steeking to make a cardigan because they don't want to, you have a lot of color work up here, and that's difficult to do when you have a color work pattern. If you're trying to do a cardigan, so to make sure it all matches up, you just knit it as you normally would, and then you steek it. So that's what we did. I'm a sewist. That's one of my early crafts. I started with crochet. Then my grandmother taught me how to sew, and then I took some sewing classes in junior high when they still taught those kinds of things in junior high, middle school. And then I started knitting in high school. So putting in the zipper for me was easy. But steeking was scary. And some of you probably saw the video of me steeking this sweater. The owner of Harps and Thistles, which is my local yarn shop, took a video of me cutting it. It's scary, but also empowering at the same time. So I love the way that this turned out. So let me show you. Ooh, look at that. Isn't it awesome? Let me unzip it. Unzip it a little bit so you can see. Yes, there's my floats you can see on the inside, which are pretty good. I mean, this was, I'm new to color work, so it's not perfect, but it looks pretty darn good, I must say. Yeah, and this is really heavy because this is kind of bulky. It's Aran weight yarn, but I love the way that this turned out. Here's the sleeve, which is nice, and this is like perfect when the weather is changing from winter to spring because it is heavy enough to be like a jacket. I have worn this quite a bit. Let me tell you about the yarn. It is Blue Sky Fibers Woolstock Tweed, and the colors, I have to remember, this dark color, it's like a really dark blue. It is called Midsummer Nights. Isn't that pretty? And it's got all those Tweety bits in it. All of these colors have those Tweety bits. And then the lighter blue is called Blue Lichen, Lichen. I think that's how you say it, lichen. The green is Fern Frond, and the orange is Tiger Lily. And you can see that better in the color work up here. So Tiger Lily, Fern Frond, and this is the Blue Lichen. And then the Midsummer Night. So I love that color combination. This is actually the yarn that's recommended in the pattern, which is called the Islington Jumper, Islington, or Islington Jumper. And I'll link that. All of the things that I show will be linked below, so you can see those. So those are my finished objects, pretty big finished objects, but really excited about that. Oh, and my t-shirt is a Gigi Made It t-shirt, which you can get on Gigi's website. Make sure you get it on her website because there are copycats out there that are trying to take advantage of her intellectual property. So make sure you go to Gigi's actual website. I think it's gigimadeit.com, if I'm not mistaken. Get it from there to support her. All right, so whips. I have a lot. I'm only going to show you the ones that I've been actively working on because, like I said, I got this whole card over here. Those are the ones that I'm not working on, but I need to get to. I will start with showing you some socks. This is my knitting that I carry with me to work, so I have something to work on at lunchtime. It helps me not work through my lunch hour, which is hard for me to do. And in the summer, there are a ton of virtual meetings, and having something to knit while I'm in a virtual meeting actually helps me concentrate. So my work knitting always is almost always is socks. So these are some socks that I'm making using my own kind of vanilla sock pattern. And this is the yarn, Wonderland Yarns Queen of Hearts. The colorway is Tea Time Earl Grey, number 156. And this is a MCN. It's 80% superwash fine merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. If you have never made a pair of socks that have cashmere in them, you don't know what you're missing. You should definitely do it. I only had one skein of this, so this is the perfect thing. So I do my socks 2 at a time from the toe up, but I'm doing a heel flap gusset kind of sock here. So I did start them from the toe up. I'll show you in just a second. But because I'm not doing an afterthought heel for these, I separated them so I don't have them on the same needle anymore, so that I could work the gusset and the heel turn and all of that. So here is one, and I just finished the increases for the gusset. So that's where I'm at with this one. But I love the way this is knitting up. It's really pretty. It's like a really light blue with those darker bits of blue. And the feel of this is so nice, y'all. Very, very nice. Here's the other one that I just put on this needle. So as you can see, I haven't done any increases there yet. So this one is just hanging out. And then once I get through the heel, I will put them back on the same needle and finish them. So those are my socks that I'm working on. These are actually for a friend of mine. And this is in a Beautiful Sister bag. Beautiful Sister is a company in Chicago, actually. I learned about them from Michael at Piece for Piece Crafting. That's their tag. And this is a really nice African wax print bag. So I love that. And it's perfect for socks. Nice little bag. So I will continue to knit on those at work. I have this project. So I'm participating in Magpie Fibers Beavalong. And so I got this bag because I had to buy a little more yarn to have enough to do what I wanted to do. But I've got a couple of beaver pins on there from Magpie Fibers. They're in Frederick, Maryland. So if you're ever near Baltimore, great store to check out. And they have a line of colors that all have beaver kind of names. And I'll show you. I'm using all of mine are on this Swanky DK base, which is very nice. It's also an MCN. 80% merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon. And so I had a couple of skeins of their spicy beaver. So you're supposed to use one of the beaver. At least some of your project should be using a beaver colorway. So I have this one spicy beaver in this particular project. I am also using in this, it's all the same base, the Swanky DK. I have a couple of, so let me back up. So this is the Spicy Beaver colorway. I love this color. It's kind of a coppery brown. Really love it. And of course that cashmere it feels very, very good. I'm also using this color. It's kind of, my ball is not, it's kind of falling apart. This is a Fiber Society colorway. So for about 6 months, I tried out their Fiber Society membership. Got a lot of nice colors. So I've got a couple of skeins of this that I'm using, and it's got a little bit of that same coppery brown color in it, you can see. And I'm also using this green color, which is it was a collaboration with Adela from Lola Bean Yarn Co. It's called Adela is the Greatest. And again, it's got little specks of that coppery brown in it. So, what am I making? You may be asking. I am working on a Shifty sweater. Shifty is a pattern by Andrea Mowry. I have made her night shift shawl pattern a couple of times. And this sweater uses the same kind of stitch pattern. So it's a bunch of slip stitches basically. So this is how it's coming out so far. Get that. I love how these colors are working together. So this is that Fiber Society color. And actually the first color, I used it all. The first Fiber Society color was just more plain, not as variegated color. And the Fiber Society colors don't have names, they just have numbers. So that was the first color, and then this is that variegated one that I showed you. And then I added in the Spicy Beaver, and then Adela is the Greatest. So I've just been kind of picking up colors randomly. not in any particular order. So I'm just using stuff until I run out, basically. So, so that's that. I've got the most of the spicy beaver. So I think what I'm going to do is just use the Adela is the greatest until I'm out of it, and then I'll add back in this variegated Fiber Society color, I think. We'll see. I don't know if I'll finish that by the time the make along is done. Doesn't matter. But I'm enjoying the pattern. It's really nice TV knitting, actually. I haven't worked on this in a couple of weeks, though, because I've been trying to make some progress on a couple of things. One is this sweater that I have shown you before, which I started quite some time ago. And I showed you pictures of the inspiration for this project. It is a sweater that a friend of mine found on the interwebs that she really likes, but it's only available on a website that she doesn't think is trustworthy. So she was really afraid to buy it, and she was showing it to me. I was like, oh, I think I can probably make that. And so what I did was, and I've talked about this before, but I'm going to tell you again. I signed up for a one-on-one with Fatima Hines, who is Disturbing the Fleece on Instagram. That's also her website, disturbingthefleece.com. And she helped me figure out how to construct this sweater, and made some really good recommendations as far as what yarn to use. Excuse me. So I took a lot of notes during that session. Fatima is a really, really good teacher. That's actually what she does as her main profession. She's a math teacher. And she uses what she knows from being trained as a teacher in her knitting. So it was a really, really valuable one-on-one. So I'm telling you, if you want to learn a technique or figure out how to do something, and you want some teaching support to do that, man, you have got to check her out for sure. Can't say enough good things about my experience with her as a teacher. So I'll tell you about the yarn first. This is it. It was a green sweater. I'll try to find the photo and insert it here if I can. But this is the color of the sweater in the photo. And my friend wanted this exact color. I actually started this late summer, maybe, I think. And put it down because I got distracted by knitting for my niece and things like that. So, but this is Plymouth Yarns Encore Chunky. And it's very nice to work with. It is 100% acrylic, I believe. 75% acrylic, 25% wool. This is machine washable. And my friend wanted a yarn that was going to be machine washable. So that's what I'm using. And I have gotten to the point where, let me pull it out. This is going to be hard to show. So let me show the front first. So I started this from the bottom up. So what I did was started knitting at the hem. So it's got some ribbing there. And then I split the front and the back because I had to add on sleeves here. It's going to be long sleeves, so I have to pick up. So I've done some neck shaping on the front here. So the front is done. I don't know how better to show this, but some pretty subtle but evident neck shaping there. And now I'm working on the back side. So I actually just did the increases on either side for the sleeves. So once I get through that, it's just a matter of joining the shoulders and then picking up for the sleeves to make it long sleeve and adding some ribbing. So I really want to spend some focused time this summer working on this because my friend's birthday is in September and I would like to give it to her on her birthday. And I'm keeping this in, actually I got this bag from my friend that I'm making the sweater for. Her mother actually made this bag. It's very nice. I love it. So I thought it was appropriate to keep her sweater in here. But I love, love, love this bag a lot. So that is that. I have this project that I can't tell you anything about. It's a test knit that I'm working on for Vanessa Smith. So excited to be able to show that to you when it's done. So it's really good. Excuse me. These allergies, man, just all messed up. And then my other whip that I've been working on, I have a cousin who is getting married in September. And she's wearing a sleeveless gown. And she was thinking about actually having sleeves added to her dress for the actual ceremony part of the festivities. But I was like, you don't have to do that because I have this pattern that I've been trying to find an excuse to make. So I will show you the yarn I'm using. I'm holding a couple of yarns together. The first is Cessia Pagale. It's made in Italy, apparently. It's a mohair silk blend. You can see there, I think it says 75%. 71% mohair, 20% silk, 5% polyester, and 4% polyamide. So it's got a little bit of sparkle because the polyester has some like metallica kind of stuff to it. So a little bit of sparkle. It's not showing up very well on camera. But that, and then I'm also holding with it, this is Knit Picks Luminance, which is 100% Woolberry silk. It's very soft, got high sheen, really pretty. And I am making a pattern, it's a wrap by Knititude called the Cloudscape Sweater Wrap. And this particular wrap, she has 3 different versions of this pattern. So Cloudscape is the lace weight version. Then there's a DK version that I can't remember the name of. And then there's a worsted weight version. But they each have different names. So I have the lace weight version and the worsted weight version, but I wanted to make the lace weight version for the wedding. But it's got a really simple construction. And this is where I am so far. Like I said, it's definitely got some sparkle to it, but it's hard to see on camera. But I think it's going to be really pretty when it's done. This is going to be the sleeve. It's basically a wrap that has sleeves on it. If I can find a picture, I'll stick it here. And I will say, I had a question about the sleeve portion of the pattern, and I emailed the designer, and she was very responsive, and just very friendly. So check that out. Cloudscape sweater wrap is what it's called, and it will be linked below. And this is a Black History Month bag that a friend of mine got me at Five Below. They had a lot of Black History stuff. Pretty cool. So those are all of my current, oops, sorry, I bumped the camera stand. Those are my current whips. And I want to show you some things I have spent some money on. Let me look at my notes because I don't want to forget anything. All right. Oh, I forgot one of my whips. This is another whip that has been languishing for a while. I am working on some DK weight socks that I started. Fatima, Disturbing the Fleece, did a, she called it an adventure sock knit along, where basically she was giving you instructions for the sock in pieces, and you didn't really know what it was gonna look like. You didn't have you did know what it was gonna look like because the first part of it was her actually designing the sock. I like her sock patterns because they're toe up. And she taught me a new technique for doing a toe, which I have used consistently since I learned it. But I am almost done with the first sock and am about halfway through the second sock. So this sock pattern, it is a DK weight pattern. It's available on Ravelry and on her website. It's called the Pique My Interest Socks. And they knit up really fast because it's DK weight, which is nice. But it has a afterthought heel, so I haven't put in the heel yet. I've just marked where I want it to go. But the actual sock is done. So this is what it looks like. So it's a little bit stash busting because you use scraps if you want to add a little color kind of randomly in. So I used one color for the toe and then switched to this main color. And then, just like I said, randomly put it in. The other one will be different. So they'll be similar but not the same. And it's got this nice cable pattern on the front. And I love the back because it's reverse stockinette, which is really cool. And this will be like a boot length sock. It won't be a knee length sock. And I have little feet, so that's why my heel is going to be in here. So, yeah, I wear a size 5 shoe. So yeah, love the reverse stockinette. Love the cabling on the front. This will be great for winter hiking because it's thick. It'll be really nice to wear with my hiking boots. So, so yeah. So the other one is sitting over here because I need to work on that. I usually pick that up when I'm in here doing stuff on the computer, like editing video. So I'll probably work on that some later today. Okay, so now I'm done with whips. So let's talk about some things I bought. This is the cooperative economics section of the podcast. Ujamaa is the Swahili word for that. So let me first start by showing you what my brother bought me at Nina Chicago. So they stock Sister Ananse yarn there, which I have purchased before via her website. So the dyer is actually, her name is Naima Bond, but the brand is Sister Ananse. And so I got 2 skeins of this. It's just really pretty. The name of this colorway is Lightning. Nice. And it's 100% superwash merino, 462 yards in the skein. Lots of cool colors in there. Really like it. Like, it's really like reminiscent of a thunderstorm sky. Love it. So I got that. And then I also got, one of my sorority colors is royal blue. So I had them cake this up right there. I'm going to make a hat with this probably. So I got this lace weight. I have to pull out the tag because I don't remember. Movers and Makers. So this is a dyer. I wanted to have some local yarn that I couldn't get anywhere else. So that's why I got Sister Ananse, because she is Chicago based and they have it there. And then this Movers and Shakers is also a Chicago dyer. And this is 72% kid mohair and 28% mulberry silk. So mohair silk blend. Really nice color. And this is also from Movers and Makers. This one. And this one is 75% superwash merino, 15% nylon, 10% tencel. And the colorway for these is Blue Line Division Stop. And that is the stop that you get off to go to my brother's house, the Division Stop. But Blue Line is the train in Chicago. Well, it's one of the trains. All of the routes have color names. So, Blue Line. Very nice. If I wanted to, I could probably use these together. But I'm not going to do that. So, I'm thinking for this, maybe a hat and some fingerless mitts, maybe. We'll see. That'll be a nice gift for one of my sorority sisters because um, it's our sorority color. Excuse the crinkling. I also took advantage of the May the 4th colorways that Lauren at Valkyrie Fibers, had on sale. And I got all four of the new colorways because we love Star Wars in this house. So this one is called, so the series is called It's a Trap. So this is the Heiress. She is so good at capturing colors from all of the Star Wars series. This one is called This Is the Way. Look at that. And I showed this to my son, and he was like, this color is from this, and this color is from that. He's very familiar with The Mandalorian, so very nice. I think this one is probably my favorite. This is The Clone. So this is like Boba Fett colors. Love that a lot. And I love the way she winds her skeins too. And then this one is called The Artist. This one's pretty too. Love, love, love the colors. And these are all, I mean, I showed the tag pretty quickly, but they're all BFL sock yarn. So it's 80% superwash BFL, which is blue-faced Leicester, and 20% nylon. I love BFL. I especially love a BFL sock. I just love the way it feels. So I'm just looking forward to making some socks with those. I would really like to one day invest in a circular knitting machine because I could get socks done so much faster. That would really be nice. So maybe one day. We'll see. Okay, I wanted to show you some things that we bought at the Great Lakes Fiber Show. So my husband invested in a needle felting kit. Excuse the crinkles. But some of you who like ASMR might like the crinkles, actually. Okay, I'll stop. So this is going to be cool. So that is what it will make. And it has all the things you need to make it, including a board so you don't like poke your table. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that comes out. I visited the Frogget yarn truck. I usually do every time I see them at a show. They're one of the yarn trucks that usually shows up at festivals. There's their label. So I bought this BFL, Aaron Waite's BFL, so again, blue-faced Leicester in different colorways. So this color is Fern. It's very pretty green. And then this color is Merlot. Very, very nice. And then I have this color, which is Midnight Teal. And I don't think it has much green in it. You know, teal is usually a blue-green kind of color, but it looks definitely blue to me, not green. So I got all three of these because I also got from a, let me pull out the one that has the tag on it so I can give you the information. I got two of these. So, and this doesn't have a color. This is just the natural color of the sheep. It's very sheepy wool. But I want to make a sweater out of all of these together. So I thought that those jewel tones would go well with this brownie beige color. So this wool is from Moonstruck Farm. And they don't have a website. This farm is in Ohio. It's in Creston, Ohio. I'll show you the tag. I don't know if that will show up. But the farmer is Heather. And she was there with some of her sheep. So we got to pet some sheep and talk to her about the different breeds that she is raising. And so she had a basket full of skeins of yarn. And this is the one that I picked. I just like this color the best. So it's natural. The sheep is an Icelandic cross. And this is hand spun yarn. So it's nice and squishy. It doesn't feel scratchy to me at all. It feels really springy and soft. So I'm looking forward to knitting with this. I think it'll be really nice to knit with. And it's funny, but I mean, when I talk about sheepy, I mean sheepy. Like it had bits of hay in it. I think most of them have fallen out now, but actually, nope. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little bit of hay right there. So it is sheepy. But like I said, it feels really nice. It's got a little bit of a halo. I'm looking forward, so I have to figure out what to make with that. And I'm not sure. I mean, one of the skeins is 4 ounces. The other one is 5 ounces. And it is definitely like Aran weight for the most part. So I don't know how many yards that is. So I don't know exactly how much I have. So I don't know exactly what I'll be able to make with it. I'll have to figure that out. But that is all that I bought at the show. I was very good and controlled myself because I have a rather large stash at this point. So this is my stash. And I've got more under another desk in my office. So it's not the hugest stash, but it's a lot. So I need to start using it, especially because we're in the middle of buying this house. And I don't need to be adding more things that need to be moved. So, so that's that. That's where I'm at. That's it for today. See you. Love you. Bye. Hey, Editing Liz here. I realized I forgot to tell you what you can do to enter the giveaway. So make sure that you like and subscribe. Liking this video really helps us grow this beloved community, so I appreciate that. And share it with friends. Make sure you subscribe. But how about if you drop a comment that tells me what your favorite fiber festival is. I go to Great Lakes every year. I've been to Maryland Sheep and Wool. That usually happens at the beginning of May. But let me know what your favorite one is in the comments. All right, I really am done now.